Hello, I'm Jeff Parsons with Stanley Community College, and welcome to Success Begins With Us, a show that highlights the positive stories of our students, local business, industry, and their impact in Stanley County. Each month, we plan to provide you, the viewer, with a greater understanding of how SCC contributes to the economic well-being of our county. Now, here's a story that I know you will enjoy.
Hi, I am Krista Bowers with Stanley Community College's Economic and Workforce Development Division. Stanley Community College is committed to providing the most up-to-date and relevant training to meet the needs of today's industry. It is my pleasure to introduce to you a great example of our commitment to training with former Stanley Community College welding student and current Preform Line Products employee, Ivey Mabe. Welcome, Ivey.
Thank you.
Ivey, can you tell us about your educational journey?
In high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was the typical student that didn't know what I was going to do when I graduated. I was in wood shop class, which was one of my favorites because I got to build stuff and I enjoyed doing that. My wood shop teacher told me about the CCP program to kind of help me out with what I wanted to do once I graduated. He actually referred me to the counselors to get that started my senior year because I didn't know about the CCP in junior year. He told me that welding would be a good route to go because he said I was pretty good at wood shop and there was more demand for welders. So I did my research and I actually came to the college and tried it once, and I found it interesting, so I decided to pursue the welding.
Great. Can you tell us about the welding program at Stanley Community College?
The welding program was great. It was very fun. I met some people that I'm now friends with, and we all had a good time while learning a lot. All the classes were put together good. I got a lot of hands-on experience fast, which was preferably my favorite because I don't really like a whole lot of book work. Mm-hmm. So the program was put together pretty good, and I got the most hands-on experience I could get. As you're going through high school, don't be afraid to try new things, research, look up careers. If you think you know the career, dig into it. Find everything you can about it to help influence your decision. And if you can take any classes here, that would probably be the best decision you can make. Because how often do you hear somebody say, hey, that's free? You never hear that. And as a high school student, if you can go through the CCP program that I went through, your classes are free. If you wait till you graduate, you've got to pay for all of them. So if you can take them early, as many as you can, they're free. If you can get tuition free and books free, you'd be crazy not to do it. So if you can find something in that program to get you an early start, whenever you graduate, it won't be long before the success starts coming. And as long as you work hard, stay focused, buckle down, just do the work and look forward to what's coming next, you'll get through it in no time. High school for me was a little bit, I dreaded it a lot. There was days I was like, man, I don't want to go to school. I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to do something. I'm going to watch movies or something. I just don't want to go to school today. When I got to college, my whole idea changed. I went from not really digging school that much to loving coming to school. And I never thought I would say that I loved to go to school. But while I was here, I loved it. I found something I love to do. And I promise you, as you get older and you do start getting out into the workplace, it is a whole lot better on you if you like what you do.
How did you get your job at Preform Line Products?
I got my job at Preform through Mr. Beaver. He gave us all applications because they had consolidated their New Mexico plant to Albemarle, and they had a high demand for welders because the products moving from New Mexico to Albemarle were mostly metal fab and welding. So they sent Mr. Beaver an email saying, you got any students that or towards the end of their program that would be a good fit. So he got all of us an application. We all filled them out, and it was kind of just luck of the draw. I got an interview a couple days later, and a couple days after that, they asked me to come in again and told me that I would be hired after the holidays.
Ivy, can you elaborate on what a welder does and what does your job entail at Preform Line Products?
A welder builds structures or other materials with metal with a process called welding. All you're doing really is fusing the metal together to get it to be structural. There's 3 types of welding. There's MIG welding, also known as wire welding, TIG welding, and stick welding. They all have the same goal, but they all do a little bit of a different process. MIG, you have a gun that pushes out wire and gas, and it fuses and makes the weld. TIG welding, you have a torch and a fillet rod, and you fuse it with both of those. And stick, you just have an electrode stick that has material on the outside. When it's electrically charged, it starts to weld. But that's pretty much what a welder does. As a welder at Preform Line, I do wire welding, also known as MIG, steel and aluminum. And I've also done a little bit of TIG aluminum. We don't do very much of it, so there's usually a guy on first shift that takes care of it because usually it's priority. So me being on second shift, I don't get to TIG much, but I've done it a couple times on orders that were brought out late or orders that he couldn't get to because of other ones. But along with welding, I've learned very many skills in fabrication. And I've actually gotten to the point now where I'm trained in every section of my department. So I'm very versatile. Wherever they need me to go, I can go. If welding's not busy, I can go over here and help another section get caught up. But for the most part, I stay welding.
How has your education at Stanley Community College and your job at Preform Line Products impacted your life?
Getting a jump start on college early was definitely useful. I'm glad I didn't take a break. College really prepared me for what I was getting out into the field to do. And when I started my career and got the job that I wanted, I worked as hard as I could and tried to climb as fast as I could. And it impacted me greatly. I've got my dream car. I just bought my first house, and I couldn't be happier.
Thanks, Ivy, for that informative information. Now, to find out more about Preform Line Products, here is Mr. John Zebarth.
This plant became operational in 1982. We make products for the telecommunications, power distribution, and energy markets, and then also what we call special industries. That's agriculture, marine, a whole variety of different end user applications. If you look at a telephone pole, you're going to see, number one, from the ground level, a series, either an individual or generally a series of guy wires. They present a danger if someone were to walk into that, ride a bike into it, hit it in some way, shape, or form. It's not good. So we created what's called a guy marker. It's an extruded tube that is highly visible. You see them all over the place. And so that's one of our many product offerings. And then where the guy strand connects to the anchor point on the ground, there's an attachment mechanism. We make what's called a guy grip dead end. So for every guy, you have 2 grip sections. So you have a ground and then where it mounts to the telephone pole. So if you have 4 guy wires, you need 8 guy grips and 4 guy markers. So you do the math, the millions of poles around the United States and around the world, that's what drives Preform. That's the core of our market. You're going to see telecommunication closures for copper telecom applications, fiber, which can be used to monitor the integrity of the electrical system as well as provide capacity for telecommunications, data communications, whatever the case may be, and then CATV, which could be coax. Just depends on what the latest deployed application is for them. We have a very well-established customer base in the United States. There's about 3,000 different utilities on the energy side, and we've been servicing them since 1947 when the company was founded, and then we've been in the telecommunications market for a good while. We deal with products that essentially can be life or death. If you think about a hurricane, it goes in and decimates a particular region. They're without power, they're without telecommunications, and it wreaks havoc. Everybody needs cell phone service, everybody needs energy. If it's hot, if you don't have air conditioning, it's not a good situation. We have to be able to respond very quickly, and if you don't have U.S. manufacturing capabilities, it's very difficult to try to service the U.S. markets from abroad. We're in the United States, we're local, we can produce product in a heartbeat if it's so required, and that happens in situations throughout the year. And if you're a foreign competitor, you just don't have the ability to react. You're probably looking at 4 weeks unless you want to airship everything, and that's not economically viable. In order to be competitive, you have to use technology, whether it's in the office setting or on the shop floor. You know, everything is shifting towards programmable logic controls. They're much more reliable, they're safer, they're more predictable. And so that's the initial thing, is people need to be able to interface with that. And so we partner with the community college to offer classes there, computer engineering technology. You know, everything is tied to a network in some way, shape, or form. And so not only do we support those from a product offering standpoint, we use them daily, every minute of the day. This plant, people on our staff that you know, were operators. They went to the community college. They got degrees in electrical engineering technology, computer engineering technology, welding, machining. Just depends on what their particular interest is and how we can match it with our needs. And that's something too that differentiates Preform, is that we have a phenomenal educational reimbursement program. Essentially, we pay 95% of tuition and 100% of books for anything that's career-related, and that's unheard of.
Stanley Community College provides training assistance to support full-time production and direct customer service positions created in Stanley County, thereby enhancing the growth potential of companies located in the county while simultaneously preparing Stanley County's workforce with the skills essential to successful employment in emerging industries. Those business and industries eligible for support through the NC Works Customized Training Program include manufacturing technology intensive, information technology, life sciences, regional or national warehousing and distribution centers, customer support centers, air courier services, national headquarters with operations outside North Carolina, and civil service employees providing technical support to U.S. military installations located in North Carolina.
Thank you for taking the time to join us today. You've heard some wonderful examples of how SCC is impacting the lives of everyday people and the industries they serve. Stay tuned for further programming where we will share more exciting stories as success begins with us at Stanley Community College.